Well, it's 1 o'clock and it's the 22nd of July. This card is for the orchestral keyboard. So it has the Pro Trinket over there and a MIDI chip, and then two 74HC 595 shift registers so that it can do the 6 by 16, which is, I believe, 96 contacts. This Pro Trinket I had originally planned to be for the pedal board, and I had planned it not to have a MIDI in, so it does not have the MIDI in chip, but it does have one shift register, so it could do 6 by 8 is 48 contacts, so I figured that's pretty good. I have 32 pedals plus 48, that gives me like 16 toe studs. I figured that was okay, but not, because there are 10 generals and 6 divisionals and a bunch of great to pedal, choir to pedal, stuff like that, 2D. And so this morning, or this afternoon, or whichever, it's 1 o'clock now, I added on the second circuit board with another chip socket and all of the connections required to allow me to add the second 74HC 595 on beside this first one. And so that will allow this to be able to do 96 inputs instead of just 48, and so that will do for that, because that will give me an extra 48 for on top of the 16 that are there already. Can't do that fast in my head, and I know it's 16 times. Well, anyway, that's a bunch. So 32 take away 96, kind of a deal. 93, 64. That's more than enough now for 64 pistons. Should be fine, because they're like 10 over here and 10 over there is 20 or whatever. It's just needed a few more than the 16 that I was going to be able to have, and figured, well, this is the way to do it. So set it up. It's easy enough to just double them rather than use a half of one. But you can tell the software, okay, I have 6 rows and 11 columns. That's how the software was originally, which gives you 66 connections, and you're using 61 of them. So you could usually say, okay, like I've got 6 by, let me see, 8 plus 4, 12, and that would give you half of the second chip. But don't need to do that. We'll let it run the whole 6 by 16, and giving us to the 96, and it's better that way. Better to have that flexibility, so any extra couplers, or not couplers, what do you call it, toe studs I want to add in later on, it's just a matter of plugging them in. And so I've got the slide-on pin headers on that too, and they're a little farther away. This one they're right beside. This one they've got 2 holes between, so there's a little more room for a connector to avoid mashing into the chip. Anyway, gotta go make some, must go and make some lunch. So that's my little comparison there. The orchestral board with the MIDI in chip, opto isolator, and the stretched pedal board without the opto isolator. Alrighty. And oh yeah, those little stain marks there, that's from the original solder work that I did, was it 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years ago, when I was trying to use that MIDI box stuff, which I gave up on because they gave up on supporting burner boards for the chips. I've got a useless chip and a bunch of stuff, but at least I'm using some of that stuff now for these things. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.